Alright, so what's going on, everybody? Let me get this to hold still. So this is a video that I thought about, or topic, and as you see by the title, streaming is dead. It's not that do you think, it's just, is it dead? And I say that because don't let a lot of these streaming numbers fool you that a lot of you see, because a good majority of them are actually bought, which are fake. And because of this, there's been a lot of platforms now that have changing and taken down a lot of people's channels, pages, or labels that are even getting in trouble, along with artists getting sued, because it's causing a lot of problems. And I mean lots of problems. And if you think about it, the internet market is heavily flooded with a lot of people. And it really makes you think, if it's flooded with a lot of people, then how come all these people are getting a good majority of these numbers? Because no one's really going to find who you are. And a lot of it is bought placements, if you will, too. Now, this was brought up like last year or so, and the person who ran World Star is now over on YouTube. And I say this because two main people really changed the algorithm for the worst, which was Post Malone and Jake Paul. Now, before I fully get into this, and this is a video that I really want to explain things that's exposing the truth, and this might get my channel took down, if anything. But that's a chance I'm willing to take. Because at the end of the day, we all like something physical. We like the shape of something. We like the texture. We like be able to have something physical in our hands. Like, and it doesn't matter, like, me, I'm a collector of music, obviously. What I'm looking at is my shelf of music that I got. You take a look at the past, 5 years ago and 5 years later, vinyls have been selling within the billions. They are coming back. Those are a collector's item people adore. Just like people are hunting down for cassettes that are still left out there, right? Or even CDs. Like, you take stuff from the 80s that weren't released on Laserdisc yet, because US was not experimenting with Laserdisc until the 90s. So things that were put out on Laserdisc for the 80s, people are hunting down. CDs that came out in the 90s, people were still wanting because I couldn't get them out on vinyl then either. And, there's a market for this stuff. It doesn't matter if it's like in Goodwills or like places like the Big Dig or like Gimme 5 or Flea Market, or even online like eBay and Amazon, because there's markets for it. If there wasn't markets for it, they would just stop it altogether. And they're still being mass produced. There's still artists that do put out CDs. And they do sell more than what you would see online. And, we will get to that. We will. And just like movies, people like a physical feeling of a movie. Whether if it's from a VHS, DVD, or Blu-ray, people still like that physical thing. It's like buying a shirt. You can't stream a shirt. We like the texture of the shirt. We like the way it feels. We like to be comfortable. Like we need, liquids in us. You can't stream liquids, just like you can't stream a bit of food, We like the texture. We need physical stuff. And I'm going to start with me. Like me, I am an artist, right? And I do CDs, like I'm an underground artist. Now, I put out at least around 15 copies, maybe 20, 25, depending on what it is. I'm going back to 15 copies, because if you do a lot of copies, you're going to have a lot still left. You don't want to be sitting on a lot of CDs, as an underground artist. Now, me, I'm not signed to no one. I'm not managed. I'm not on contract with anyone. I'm not booked by anyone. I'm not tied down by anyone, which means I don't have to worry about losing and splitting money, because if that was the case, I would literally have to push so much to the point I would probably end up getting arrested because I'm not licensed, you see? That's why I put mine out for free. Now, I do everything out of pocket, and the people here where I'm at, they're tied down to one person. He ain't letting them do nothing. I'm keeping it real. So, they always ask my homie, Eric, and they try to ask me, well, how are you doing this? How are you able to put out music just about every once a month or almost every month? And that's the thing. There's nobody marketing me. In other words, there's nobody financing me. I finance myself. It comes out of my pocket. And I have to play on a budget. So the first thing I do, I got to buy the materials. I'm going to buy them offline because I can get better prices offline rather than I can in store, because I can get a lot more of these items for less rather than spending, more money and just get less back. You see? So if I decide to put out a mixtape, I'm going to go ahead and purchase the plastic flexible covers. If I put out maybe like an album, I'm going to buy some of the thicker cases. And I always think about the number I'm going to put out. So, for example, if I want to put out a mixtape, I can get 100 to 150 plastic cases, the flexible ones, for around $20, right? Or for the thick cases, I can order 20 to 50 of them in for $25. You see what I'm saying? When it comes to CDs, the prices in stores going to be expensive for blanks. But online, I'm going to get a decent price for a lot more. So I'm going to be buying 600 CDs come next month. Now the 500 one, $66 for 500 blank CDs, that ain't bad. And then I'm looking at least 25, maybe $20 more at the most for a 100 pack, right? That ain't too bad either. And then I get the refill papers, which are a sticker type of sheet that I can get a design on to put on the CDs. And I'm spending no more than $30 for like almost 5,000 of them. That will last. And before all of that, I really taught myself how to do edit work online, how to make pictures. And once I got good at it so much, I started making my own cover art. So I put that on a flash drive. I look up the size of what it's going to need to be when it goes into the case. And I'll also bring my refill paper. Now I go up to Office Max. Now they used to do that. They don't do it no more, but they still do it for me because I do good business with them, and I do get a discount, and I do have a rewards card. So I give them the size, they do their thing to get it printed up, and I'm out of there. The only thing I don't have money for is to get the artwork cut out, because that's like $1 a cut, and you're almost looking at 50, around $60 in total, because they're charging you $1 for 4 sides. That's that adds up. That does add up. So I cut them myself. And then I put them together, and then I also burn my CDs myself, and it takes me a week, because I have like one CD burner, so it takes me a week to do that, which I'm okay with anyways. As long as everything's put together, I'm good, I'm happy, I can live with that. So there's always going to be a love and a need for physical stuff. It doesn't matter what it is. If you take streaming, now let's go to the early days of streaming. Let's go back to 95 and early 2000s. From 95 to 2005. The first actual streamings around that time were downloading music off BearShare or LimeWire. That is a sense of streaming. Now, I don't know how many people remember those. However, if you knew somebody that had a CD burner in their hard drive, right, in their computer tower, and at that time, that was like expensive. If you had a CD burner, you were balling and making some money, because people would come to you, give you a list, give you a blank CD, and you would charge them $1. So you would be making $1 each time off doing that for people. Real talk. I can't begin to describe you how many times I've seen that growing up. right? People still burn CDs today. People, it's like you go in a lot of these stores and, you know, you're still going to see the stereo kits for your vehicle. They're still going to have them CD players in it. You know, they're going to have, they're even going to have the HDMI, no, not HDMI, USB and Onyx plug-in ports as well. You know, so you see that because people like physical things. Now, going along with that, you know, yeah, them sites got took down throughout the years because, you know, they got sued for doing what they were doing. You take the early days of YouTube, you know, before you could even download off there, you've seen people putting up their music, videos, and it was new. They were getting views. It may not be the views as we see today, because views back then were you had to work towards that. And we will be going back to that. Just, you know, really pay attention here. Throughout that, the next thing was MySpace. You know, MySpace, when people put music on MySpace, or when we were making a playlist, you know, that is a sense of streaming. Now, you couldn't download it, but it was streaming. And people will gravitate towards your playlist, right? Well, by then, you know, after MySpace, you know, you had Facebook. So, Facebook wasn't as strict when it come to putting music on there like they are now. And again, there's reasons for this, and, you know, we will get into those reasons. But I want to make my points and my examples here. Now, going back from that, you see some people have something K point views, right? High thousands, mid, low thousands, right? Because you're going to want to share the hell out of it. Even people get sick of seeing it. You know, you want to work hard for those views. Some people rather pay a middleman and pay for fake views to make it seem like they're getting out there when they're not. So, what did we have in those early stages? Well, we had Revue Nation, which was Jay-Z's, one of his businesses that he did abandon. Now, Revue Nation, even with plus Jay-Z, he owed a lot of people royalties. People got to the point where they got paid for monetization of their music. No one was getting paid. And here, people were paying $30 a month just for the pro version as well, so you can upload a lot more and work towards ranks, like local or, you know, range and global as such. Now, the system's broke because a lot of people abandon it, and it likes to make it look like a lot of people check. So I'm always in the top 5. The thing is, you know, the videos that I do here, I post them on that page through a link, and they're counting that as streaming numbers as music when it's not. Now, my charts are up the roof on Revue Nation, but the thing is, again, you know, they own numbers, and they're faking a lot of the streaming numbers because they really want people to think that it's still active when it's not, and that's why they give you free promotions. Like, they'll show an advertisement banner for you on WorldStar, or they'll make a playlist for you with some of your music for like 2 weeks at the most for free on Spotify, then take it down and back up again. From there, you know, we found SoundCloud. Now, SoundCloud, you know, people were battling for you getting the most amount of plays, shares, even downloads, right? I worked hard towards mine, and mine were real numbers. I even forgot I had 2 pages way a long time ago. But the page I have now is really the main top page. And from there, you know, we went back to YouTube, right? I had 2 other channels I completely 100% forgot about. And one of them that you guys may have seen the reaction video for, what I said where the goals were. Now, those, I didn't even know I I even have them type of views. But the views I got now, I'd rather work towards it the old-fashioned way, the hard way, by still promoting, trying to get people to check out the video, right? Rather than paying for fake views. And that's what they have. They still have that. Now, you take a look at Tidal. You know, a lot of people, people, as fast as people went to Tidal, it came and left quicker. Like, it just completely died out. Because no one feels like paying a monthly prescription, and artists weren't seeing nothing because the labels were paying for fake views, and Jay-Z were letting this go through. So, think about what I'm saying here, right? Tidal, as fast as it came, it left quicker. No one feels like paying a monthly prescription. Ain't nobody gonna have that kind of money for like $30, $20 a month. A lot of people weren't gravitating towards it. The exclusives, no one cared about. So Jay-Z owed a lot of people money, which really makes me question his business standards as a businessman. Is he really that smart, or is he just pump faking? I believe he's pump faking. Take a look how, even before Tidal, you had iTunes. iTunes was doing great. Then you had Apple Music, because people were doing MP3 players at the time, right? Well, those died out quick because no one feels like paying, again, a monthly prescription every month just to have an account, and then paying a bit more extra money just to buy like one song or something off there. And people just want the music and they want it for free. That's why they went back to places like SoundCloud or YouTube. But a lot of those numbers were bought numbers. A lot of them were fake, and we have people like Post Malone and now Jake Paul for a lot of these standard, strict rules that are affecting the algorithm of all of this. We all know what Jake Paul did. He was blogging. He showed a dead corpse in Suicide Forest. Well, nowadays, YouTube is so strict, a lot of people's channels are being attacked. And they have a lot of different scans that you don't know about. Certain tags, certain words that they can catch now. They're taking down so much in terms of like gaming, music, and a lot of artists stuff. It doesn't matter if you're international or underground, especially if you're just a regular underground artist and not famous. They're taking down your stuff, and they're gonna strike it as a copyright, take down your channel. And because of this, you have these labels like Sony, Warner Brothers, Universal claiming your shit because of the YouTube algorithm now, because of Jake Paul shit. Especially when it comes to the music. Post Malone got in trouble for this along with his label, and they were facing a lawsuit. I think it's still ongoing. But comes to find out, they were just looping a 30-minute song for like 3 minutes, posting it on there and saying, okay, we're going to buy some of these views. And they're still digging through a lot on YouTube, man. However long it takes. But because of all of this, streaming is now dying out. People are really leaving towards that. Because of how bad it's affecting not just for creators, but for listeners as well. And they have showed receipts about the real numbers of the streams, and they're like really low. And they showed bot streams from, labels and outsiders as well. That's why people now in physical music, they don't want to tell you guys this, but you guys can look it up. Physical music's actually selling more than online shit, more than streaming. It really is. And they were just talking about this on Everyday Struggle, but the thing is, they work for Complex, so Nadeska and academics have to, they get paid good money to really say, oh, these streaming numbers are at their highest. But they know the truth. Now, Axe been known to speak about that on his Twitch, but he has to hush since he's signed to Complex, and they catch that, he can lose his job. Wayno don't care. Wayno wants to speak the truth. He's trying to tell him, no, it's not like that. Just like when Star tried to tell him, Even with Joe Budden, like, they know those streaming shit's fake. But Nadeska and academics are paid to say certain things. If physical music was so dead, then tell me again, for the past, 5 years ago and 5 years later, why vinyl is still in the billions of dollars being sold. Again, more than physical music offline, because no one feels like paying for monthly prescriptions. People want the music. And now I see some of the younger people today gravitating towards physical music, and I'm glad to see that. But you also have to think, because of Post Malone shit, Jake Paul, and a lot of these labels buying fake views, it's ruined the algorithm. And these platforms that they promote on, it's messing up their business and their money. And that's why they're striking so hard, taking down whatever. It doesn't matter what it is. The same thing, as I was saying, you have a lot of these platforms, again, that a lot of these people are doing that's messing it up. So, if you post music, that is yours on YouTube, it will be striked, it will be took down, and it will be claimed by one of these hired people. Or, same thing with Facebook, like, they'll strike you. Now Instagram's doing the same thing. I can't tell you, it's just not me, but it's a lot of other people who promote things, who are creators. A lot of our stuff, especially for me, past couple days ago, it got hit so hard. I had to take down all my content because I don't want to have to start over on a whole new page on Instagram, because it's hard to get that old one back. It's like with an old Facebook page of mine. The reason why I got took down, yes, my stuff was getting reported because people didn't like what I was doing because they weren't doing it, hater type of stuff. But not only that, some of the gameplay I was doing was being took down and striked because they figured it was stealing or copywriting. When you see a lot of, people doing gameplay nowadays, well, it also affected that YouTube platform. That's why a lot of people are going towards Twitch. So, if you're going to post gameplay on YouTube, you do have to mute a lot of different things, or just have the whole thing completely 100% muted. And no one wants to watch a silent video. No one. Along with that, you have WorldStar that's cracking down on that now, because it's starting to mess up their platform. Now, some people say, well, it ain't happened to mine yet, blah, 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 blah. Those that say that, it is happening to them. They just don't want to admit it. And because of all this, because, again, not only is it affecting the business platforms like YouTube, Hip Hop WorldStar, Instagram, Facebook, and now even Twitter, even though Twitter did die out really quick and fast because a lot of people just completely abandoned it. Not only did it affect those, because those platforms are losing money when people buy fake views, because you have people, companies like, Sony, Warner Brothers, Universal hitting them, and also the creators. So it's messing up creators, and this is how a lot of people, manage to make a living. The only people that don't want those problems, and they do crack down very heavily, is Twitch. Now, you can stream music on Twitch, but after that it has to be muted, and they'll automatically do that. They'll figure, okay, what is music that will be muted, and what isn't that will be heard. What also goes into, you have to be careful, not just what you say, but what you post. Because now we live in a very sensitive area. If you say one small word like, oh, you're a wuss, you can get striked for that. You could get put in timeout for that. Or you can completely lose your page altogether. And because of that, a lot of people are leaving, and a lot of this is slowly coming into the light, but they want to keep holding it down, but it keeps rising up to where streaming is dead. If you take a look at Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, you know, them streaming numbers ain't that big. They may have a special that people will watch that may do a few, but, you know, they got rid of a lot of their stuff as well, right? Think about it. They got rid of a lot of their stuff because the companies don't want their products on those platforms, which does mess up business. And because of that, a lot of people are now leaving. And that's why you always see more about physical movies being sold more. Just like physical music. Plus, you also have to think about it like this, right? If you are a creator today, you know, one day there could be no more internet, for all we know. And if you were an artist and people ask, well, what is it that you do? Well, I'm an artist, I'm online. Well, I never heard of you because now the internet's gone, so I don't believe you. I don't know if you're good. You have nothing to document what you've done. That's even if you have your stuff saved on your computer. That's why there's always going to be a love for physical things. So when that day comes, if you're an artist, we're going to go back to doing cassettes. We're going to go back to doing vinyls. It's not, you know, most of us are doing cassettes. A lot of us are doing vinyls. A lot of us are doing CDs. So you're going to go to doing that so people can know who you are, so you can have a presence. If you are a person that makes fan-made films of your own, and a lot of that stuff has been known to be took down and copyrighted for no apparent reason and been claimed. But if you say, oh, well, I'm like this actor, I do my own stuff, it's online, well, we're not going to know who you are because now it does no longer exist. Which means you can put it on a blank DVD. You know, just do the artwork. You know, we'll have technology to do this, but little by little, these platforms and things that I'm talking about, how I'm explaining them, I think going into the rest of this year, especially next year, it's going to die out just that quick because we have people that are just messing up these things for everyone else. Buying fake views, fake subscribers that are messing up money and business for the platforms that we love, like YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, WorldStar, Twitter. They're losing money. And because of this, they have to find a way to go a bit more higher above these labels. And the labels have to come to agreement as well. But let's just strike down everything because the labels don't want to face the lawsuits because of an artist that they have. And then you have, again, the creators down here, they're stuck in the middle, being attacked from all sides. So they don't want to put up with that because that costs money to try to get a claimer. That costs money to try to get stuff back up or trying to get your page back. And you're not dealing with humans on the other end because a good majority is ran by computers and robots that are doing it. So they're going to go ahead and agree to have it just took down because they ain't got the money to be banned. They don't. And again, people that, and it takes one bad apple to spoil a bunch. Well, we had two bad apples. And it hasn't even been almost 3 years. It's been like almost 2 years at the most that two people messed up the whole platform for people to create in order for them to feed their families and to make a living off of. And the two people we have that ruin this for us are Post Malone and Jake Paul. And yeah, throughout the time, some artists have been caught and called out and had nothing to say. Even some of the artists today. Again, it's coming to the light. And at the end of it, man, streaming had a very short life. It made a lot of money, but it had a very short life, and as fast as it came, it's going to go even quicker. So that's why this is why I beg the question. Or even if it is even a question at all, streaming is dead. But again, certain platforms are paid to show false numbers to make it seem something that it's not. In the end, there's always going to be love for something physical, because that's what's going to last. That's what's going to be documentations of things that will be considered past once the actual future comes, because we're not going to be here. So we're going to need to leave something behind to show how life was for us for entertainment. So when they dig up that time capsule, per se, they're going to want to know what it is that we had to do for entertainment when it comes to music, when it comes to, movies, games. People are going to want to see that later on in the future. Because as far as we're concerned, the internet will probably be around, but streaming is going to be dead, or the internet can be completely gone. So, again, I'm glad to see a younger audience now gravitating towards physical stuff. And again, no one wants to pay for a monthly prescription every month to have an account and then pay other money just to buy something. No one wants to do that. So because of that, I'm out. I hope you guys enjoyed the video.